So if you're sending out, if you have 2,000 people on your list and you're sending the email every time to 2,000 people, you're going to get unsubscribed straight up. And with that type of email cadence, you're going to get a high number of unsubscribes because if people are receiving a constant stream of emails from you that are not relatable to what they're trying to take advantage of, then eventually they're not going to see the value in your email list and they're going to unsubscribe. So that's where this comes in. And the open rate is why I want to talk about last, is because open rate, plain and simple, is the amount of people of your email. I mean, the amount of people on your email list that actually open the emails. This is not deliverability. You know, if you have a deliverability, that means the emails are getting to their inbox. The open rate is the actual rate at which people open the emails. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this last is because this number is slowly starting to become, I'm not going to say irrelevant, but something I would not be too keen on keeping important, because a lot of email service providers now are have automation built into their platforms. The Gmail, Outlook, that I know for sure because I have a lot of clients that use those platforms. They have automations built in where when you send an email to them and it lands into Outlook or Google system, they have bots that actually will open the email, scan it, and sometimes the click-through rate can be a little bit challenging to measure. They would click on some of the links within the email to verify that it's not spam, malicious, or anything like that. That's how it determines the health of your emails and determine if your emails are actually being delivered. I mean that type of security system in place helps determine the legitimacy of your emails that are being sent to their customers on their platform. And also, it helps cut down on the amount of malicious emails that are coming through. So, when it comes to open rate, take it with a grain of salt. You know, you might send out 1,000 emails and you might get an open rate of like 50 to 60%. That sounds extremely great. But look at the trend, and this goes not just for open rate, but for all of these. Look at the trend when you're sending out emails. How often are your emails being open? I will say, you know, I'm just throwing them out there. If you're sending over a course of 6 months, if you're sending out a regular cadence of emails, 1 to 2 per week or bi-weekly, and your open rate is consistently hitting a high number, their chances are is that the bots themselves are actually opening your emails. So what I would do is then look at the click-through rate. And then also, if you're, again, over that 6 month period, if you get like a 60% open rate, but maybe your click-through rate is in like 3 or 4% range, now that's the actual, I would say that's a legitimate number of people who are actually opening or reading the emails that you're getting and not bots. So if you look at the comparison between those two numbers, that will give you a better understanding of what your audience, who within your audience are actually reading your emails. Again, the conversion rate is, that's the golden metric. You know, that's the number you really want to hit. And again, compare it to over that 6 month period. You know, you may be, in 6 months you're having a 60% open rate, but if your click through and your conversion rate are in the 3 to 5% range, that's a very low conversion rate. Then that would tell you like, okay, there's not a lot of people who are actually reading the emails, and these same consistent people that are clicking are actually converting. So that means your open rate is kind of skewed. So that's why I say you want to be cognizant of the other numbers and not just focusing on one number, because it'll tell the entire story. So when you measure what really matters, now you want to create a plan. Your next steps is to actually create an action plan that will help you become successful. And I'll give you this sample plan. I'll go through it a little bit high level here, but again, I'll send out the slides to this presentation so you can go through and look at this yourself.